Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. We've got quite a bit to do today. I don't know if we're going to get it all done or not, but we talked about last week that we got a little bit of a problem with the trusses. May or may not be a real problem, but I'd rather overbuild it than underbuild it. So we're going to shore up the trusses a little bit, make them a little stronger before we put solar panels on the roof. We're doing that by putting 3/4 inch plywood on one side of them. They have a tiny bit of sag, not enough to probably even matter, but by the time we put solar panels on them, it may very well be enough to matter, so we're going to fix it ahead of time. But we're going to do the piers for the utility room so that they have time to cure, and we'll frame the utility room next weekend. And hopefully, if finances work out and everybody goes over to our Patreon and signs up, we'll have enough money to buy and install the metal the following week. So that's the main stuff that we've got going this weekend. There's going to be some concrete work on the piers.
And then this weekend, I've got to do some small little things. But yet still important. I need to go finish sealing off the barrier on the outside. Got to get up on the ladder and get the higher levels of that. And then I'm not very excited, but I'm going to have to get under the house. So I'm going to have to lay down this tarp, get it nice and dried out. We actually had some rain yesterday. And then go under the house and kind of fix. I know I touched on it in, I think, my little topless snack time Patreon the other day, where we're just trying to make sure that the water, when the rain came through and got in the insulation.
So we've created a Patreon where we can do all the uncensored stuff when it's hot or when it's just late and we want to be comfortable and the clothes come off. All that stuff that we used to just turn the cameras off and not film is now on Patreon. So, yeah, definitely check that out. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah. We're just trying to afford a pair of pants for me. Let's see, can we do a little fit of the day? Am I in the frame?
Yes.
A little fit of the day. For just $9.99 a month, you can clothe me like a proper person.
Another Saturday, another terrible before and after photo. It's been hot.
I mean, it really felt, there was parts of the day that felt very, very pleasant, but it's so humid. So it definitely wears you out and, like, takes it out of you for sure.
Yeah, it got real damn hot when I started placing concrete. And I got one pier done. We're going to go get some more Saccrete. I failed to account for the bell holes at the bottom, so which is fine because I wouldn't have held out much longer anyway, throwing 80-pound bags of concrete, but we need 9 more. So we're going to throw just enough clothes on to go into Lowe's. We're going to go get some Fox House, as we always do on Saturday night. We're going to go back to Cabin 1.0 and vegetate and perhaps make some content for Patreon or the Spicy page. We definitely got a lot of Patreon-only stuff today. There will be a lot more tomorrow. So that concludes day 1. And we got all the trusses fixed. I should have done a walkthrough, but I will. tomorrow, and then we'll kind of add that to the first part and pretend it happened today. Yeah, that's it for Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow. So did I tell you about that guy that really thought there was something wrong with him? He decided he better go to the shrink.
Okay.
He just, he had some weird habits. Man, he lived alone. He had some weird habits. So he makes his appointment and he shows up to the shrink wrapped in saran wrap from head to toe. No clothing, just saran wrap. And he walks in and the doctor's sitting down. The doctor turns around and the guy says, "Yeah, man, I need to get seen. I think there's something wrong with my head." The doctor looks him up and down and he says, "No appointment needed. I can clearly see your nuts." Ba-dum. Yes, to answer the question that we've gotten several times in comments, it is pretty difficult to focus on work when she's prancing around dressed like this. However,
A lie.
I would like to point out that while I'm no weatherman, rest assured, she's going to be getting a couple inches tonight. A couple.
Also, don't let him lie at all. First of all, he has the most tunnel vision, one-track mind. There's no derailing that at all. And also, like, he sees my boba and vagina every day. So it's not as exciting as when you guys see my marbles.
And, it's a little different. I'm sure watching her just being hot on YouTube, scantily clad.
You're going to say something
versus, like, for instance, true story. I think you were sick. We refer to this as the booger face incident. She blew her nose, right? And, like, first of all, another fun fact is that anything involving toilet paper involves half a roll of toilet paper. So she has a massive wad of toilet paper, right, to blow her nose. Like, it's fucking 500 sheets at least.
Lies.
And she's like, and then she takes it away, and there was a booger the size of a pea right there. And we're having a serious conversation, right? And she's just like, yeah, and then, this, and then we got to think about that. And I'm just like, stop. I'm sorry. I don't mean to lighten the moment, but you have a gigantic booger directly between your eyes. So anytime I'm trying to work and, I've got Bob's and Vegana in my face, it's kind of like in Austin Powers where he's like, Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day. I'm just like, booger face, booger face, booger face, booger face. So today we're going to work on the biogas digester and get at least enough done to get it out from under the utility room. That way we can frame the utility room next weekend. And obviously we don't want to have to crawl in under it to do this work when I can do it standing flat-footed on the ground this week. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Here we go. So these are uniseals. I don't know if you can really see that all that well, but it's basically a rubber grommet for penetrating a tank or anything you want to penetrate, almost. And we're going to pop them in this tank to make our pipe penetrations so that we don't lose any gas or liquid or anything else out of this tank. Now the next thing we're going to do is take our 3-inch pipe that's going to the bottom of the tank, and we're going to cut it at a 45 to cause the material that goes down the pipe to kind of go across the tank, to create a little bit of flow and keep everything agitated and keep all the germs and microbes working like we want them to work. Don't know that that's exactly a 45, but this isn't necessarily an exact science. So the depth of the tank is 39 inches. We're going to make our piece 44 inches, which gives us 5 inches out of the tank to put a fitting on it. Now this is our inlet pipe. It's going to go down in the tank with the 45 aiming diagonally across the tank. Again, so that as our input comes in, it'll create kind of a natural flow across the longest dimension of the tank. Need some sort of lubricant. I'm going to go ahead and mark the center line of the 45. So that when I get down in the tank, I don't lose track of which way I'm headed, since I can't see the end of the pipe. So this is the seal for the outlet pipe, and I'm going to use the same type for the gas pipe. These are for 1-inch PVC, and people say like don't use 1-inch for your effluent, but I'm going to use a staging tank between the toilet and the biogas digester, so that when you flush the toilet you have basically a 55-gallon drum of capacity that's higher than this, that trickles into this, which means that the effluent on this doesn't have to come out as fast as your flush goes in. The next step, we're going to put in our effluent line. This one reaches all the way to the bottom of the tank, but it has holes in the side of it to cause it to pick up effluent from about halfway up the tank. Tank is 39 inches. We're going to go 20 inches from the bottom, and we're going to attempt to hole saw the side of a piece of pipe. Ream it out so that it doesn't catch on the uniseal as it goes in. We're going to cap this line on the bottom so that it doesn't pick up stuff from the very bottom of the tank. We want it to pick up from about halfway where the good fertilizer is going to be made. Now we're going to build the gas outlet pipe. And this one too is capped at the bottom. It has a hole in the side at the very top of the tank because that's where the gas is going to be made. The good thing about these IBC totes is, I don't know if you can really see how the sides are taller and then they go down in the center and then back up at the side. So the gas is going to collect in those high points. The one side doesn't really matter because that's the inlet side. Gas will collect there and just stay there. The other side, gas will collect and go out the gas pipe because it'll become the highest point. So again, the high points of the tank are 39 inches. We're going to make our hole at 37 3/4 so that it's up in that high part of the tank. of it ends up at 38. So it's like immediately below the seal, the uniseal that we're putting in the top of the tank. It's as high as it can be without messing things up. It's sitting right on the bottom, right like we want it. So that's the basic skeleton of a biogas digester. We've got the inlet pipe, food, poop, whatever goes in. We've got the effluent pipe where fertilizer comes out. If you use that, everybody says dilute it 10-to-1 with water. You can also use gray water. We're going to have a gray water system. I think a lot of off-gridders do. And then that is the gas pipe, which we're going to cut off later once the utility room is framed. And we'll probably get one of the PVC storage bags for our gas. But that's the part of it that needs to be done in order to frame the utility room. All right, so we're closing out another weekend. We're leaving a little early this time. We actually worked ourselves out of materials.
So make this growl like I'm gonna let out the most epic fart. It just woke up.
Let her rip, Tater Chip. Don't hold back.
Hi.
Hey!
Okay.
I want tater tots.
Brackets for the Then I came back in and I started to do sorry. Back in and I'm sorry. Alright, just give me a second. It's like I'm in the gigs. Oh god. I'm so sorry. Then I came back in and did the
Do you need a minute? Get your life together, Christ.
I think it's like heat delirium. I don't even know. Nothing's even funny.
Okay. Ooh, sorry.
I know.
Deep breath.
After I got out from got the
Oh my God.
I know.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
So when I came back in, just don't look at me. When I came back in, I hung the brackets for the eye joists. When I came back in, I literally think it's like delirium.